welcome everyone to another episode of Hazard Time Gets Lost. Today we're talking about episode
My
10,
back
Raised,
hurts.
Raised by Another. I'm your host Liam, and the man with the back pain is Dimitri.
Ugh.
This is Claire's episode, Claire's first flashback. So, what did you think this episode, Dimitri?
It's my claim. I claim the back pain. That's my thing. Uh, actually, so this episode, I was kind of, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was like, oh, it's a Claire episode. I wasn't asking for that, but I guess I'll watch it. And turned out to be, I would say, one of my favorite episodes so far.
This is a pretty strong episode.
Yeah, it's good.
There's a lot good here. There's a lot to talk about. Uh, I think the big thing, which I was very pleased with last episode, because you didn't remember any significance about Ethan.
Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't remember him, but I knew he was there. Like,
It's like, but you didn't remember that isn't a Ethan is not one of these people. You didn't remember that.
well, it kind of he struck me as a weird dude.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, when you watched last episode, you didn't remember that Ethan wasn't a plane crash survivor, correct?
Right? Yeah, like this. After the fact, I kind of like had some recollection of this being the case, but I didn't remember it beforehand, like during the episode. Like when it was revealed, I was like, okay, I think I remember that, but
But you know what that previous episode did, Solitary, what it did, which is so clever, is it introduces Ethan at the same time they introduce the Sullivan the Rash guy.
yeah, they threw
So
us, they kind of
yeah,
misdirection there.
it kind of throws you off because if they just introduced Ethan, you're gonna be like, well, why are they introducing this new guy? But introducing two new people, you're kind of thinking like, oh, they're just introducing new people.
Yeah, yeah, it was
So
very clever, and the whole thing was pretty natural in the way they went about it. Even though you were totally like, it's Ethan.
yeah, I
To
mean, like I said, would I have preferred Ethan appearing earlier in the season? Absolutely. Like if you could have pulled in Ethan in episode one, like I guess knowing that, and
like, so you, even though the fate would be the same for this character, you'd still want him introduced earlier.
I think yeah, I think that
Yeah, well, I guess it would be like a longer con, but
just so it's a little less. I mean, because it's not gonna be like oh Boone is the other. Like
yeah,
they're not gonna.
I don't know.
It,
Once, like I said, once you introduce Ethan, it's kind of obvious who the guy is. Making waves with the baby. It's
yeah,
like this dude's obviously up to no good.
like it's kind of like if you've ever seen some type of procedural criminal or cop show or whatever,
Yeah,
you can tell who the murderer is by the credits because it'll be the only person you know the name of in the credits. It'll be like, oh, Peter Stormare is in this episode. I wonder who the killer is. Like, well, it's obviously Peter Stormare because he's the only person. Like, he's the only guest star of any significance. So of course, he's the killer.
it always like makes me think of like these actors who are just playing really unsettling people that kind of give you the like that's their claim to fame. Like this Ethan guy, like why do I feel like he's done other roles similar to the baby stabber role?
Interestingly enough, that actor, Ethan's actor, William Mapother or something, he is Tom Cruise's cousin.
Hmm.
And you can kind of see it. Like, you look up a picture of that actor, and you do kind of see a little Tom Cruise resemblance in there.
So he doesn't have perfect middle tooth, but it's a little off
Yes,
center.
it's 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 diluted. He's not a pure
He's not.
Cruise
Yeah,
lineage.
it's not pure middle tooth.
Uh, but yeah, this is Claire's flashback episode. We're just getting. Uh, it's mostly like basic background about Claire and her pregnancy. You know, she's got the father of the year she's dating, and he
Which
abandons
you're
her
just like,
because
they just throw the painting thing in there, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna flake.
yeah,
Like he's a painter. Okay, sure.
because like but yeah, because there's like this line where they're talking about like she's talking about like I have my job, and he's like, yeah, I have my job as well, my painting. Like,
Yeah,
you don't have a
okay.
real job.
Her $5 an hour job, which is just ridiculous.
Uh, but yeah, eventually he ends up abandoning her. We never see him again. He's irrelevant.
Just like the old fortune teller says. Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
husband, he'll have no part of your life or the baby's life. Like, forget about him. He
He
provided his seed. That was his job.
he's only going to be in this episode. What are you talking about? Episode doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I like the whole setup of this episode. Like, it was just like it's just a really solid story. Like, in terms of Island narrative, this gets like a 9 out of 10. Like, it's just really good. The flow of it, the way it's
Yeah,
brought up. Like, it's not like the flashbacks are more natural in the way that they happen. Like the story beats,
right.
everything kind of happens with like it's got a little more snap to it. Nothing drags on. It's like you're thinking like, ooh, what about that? What about that? And then boom, they do it. There it is. And it has like
And
the tinge of mystery to it with the fortune teller. It's interesting.
fortune teller was some good stuff.
He is. Anytime you bring man, fortune tellers are great.
That's this is something we'll get a little bit more into in the future.
Well, and,
Uh,
and like when you mix the fortune teller with the already mystical stuff that's going on potentially in the island, like it's just the whole vibe that you got going now. So that this episode kind of like built upon that.
yeah, and it's interesting too because what the fortune teller does is it kind of expands the world of Lost
Yeah.
beyond the
Yeah,
island. Like
exactly. Yep.
the islands, you know, it's not the island's just weird. You know, maybe everything's a little weird, and the island's a little extra weird.
Well, the island belongs in this universe of just little weird.
Right.
Uh, if it's like the island is like part of the rogues gallery of this universe. It's like an A-list villain, you know.
Yes.
but uh but yeah, this episode it just kind of included the right stuff, and it was good fun. And also like the island story ties in with the flashbacks as well. So like
Right.
there wasn't that idea of like, well, you got this stuff happening on the side and then this stuff. Like no, it all kind of joins together. So again, it's that like streamlined, it's a really good condensed hour.
Yeah, because something that season one kind of does, and I feel like they abandon it after season one, but I definitely feel like season one made an attempt to like when they're doing flashbacks, characters are actually thinking about those moments. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so like the start of the flashback is because the character kind of like prompts it.
Yeah, the characters is kind of thinking about that, kind of
Yeah.
remembering.
Yep.
You know, you see it with Claire here, because I mean, at one point Jack is like, "When did you find out you were pregnant?" And then it flashes back to when she finds out when she was pregnant. Like,
Yeah, and she's like, oh, maybe Charlie's like, maybe he did know about the plane, and then Claire's like thinking back that direct moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll see this. I think we'll see a little bit more of that in next episode. But yeah, but by the time you get to like season two, they kind of abandon that, and it's just kind of like flashbacks for the sake of flashbacks.
Yeah. Well, that's what the show is known for.
I almost think uh, maybe a problem with the show, something that could have helped them a little bit more, is if they experimented a little bit more. You know, like when you get to like season two and three, sometimes you're getting flashbacks where it's like, why are we seeing this? We don't need this flashback. This is not adding anything new to this character. It's giving a flashback to a character because, oh, Jack needs a flashback in season 3, so we'll give him a
You get a
flashback.
flashback. You get a flashback.
So if they could have like done something else, maybe an episode with no flashback, right? Or like, I don't know, something.
Yeah, they were kind of resting on their reputation a little bit too much. Like, well, we need to include flashbacks now.
Right. And you get the Hurley subplot, which kind of,
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's great because this Hurley subplot
yeah,
isn't just random. Like, it ties in to finishing up this episode, which is central to the character having the flashbacks and everything.
and because it kind of like branches off. It starts with Hurley looking for whoever,
Mm-hmm.
and Hurley branches off, goes on his little side quest, and then that right towards the end, it ties back in perfectly with someone not being on the manifest, which is kind of also something you didn't really expect. I feel like people watching it for the first time just see this as Hurley subplot, something for Hurley to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if anything, you were gonna be like, oh, so this guy was maybe like the only thing I was thinking of, like this guy was a total criminal beforehand. Like, oh, it's like, he's on the manifest. He's part of the 40 people they got, but they figure out he's a criminal. But like, no, it just subverted that and was like, this guy wasn't even on the list. We got extra island people. So, a great twist ending.
which I got the thing I was thinking about is the manifest itself, because they specifically say that they crossed off the names of the dead.
Yeah.
But the only way they can do that is if they know who everybody is in the first place, because they don't have confirmation of everybody who died. You know what I'm saying?
I think they crossed off who they knew was dead.
So, I mean,
Like
guess
if they found
crossing
a
off.
wallet on a person that was in the cabin.
So I guess just crossing off confirmed dead. So
Yeah.
they have there's a lot more people on the
Yeah.
manifest than.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Okay, I mean that makes more sense because like some those people who like flew out the back of the plane when it broke apart midair, they don't.
Here's my wallet just in case you need it.
He left it in the seat pocket in front of him.
Yeah. He had a little note inside. If I don't come back for this, I'm dead.
If found, that means I'm dead. We're jumping to conclusions, but
if found, tell my family I love me. We can get a nice little Sawyer moment
oh yeah,
with Hurley trying to get the manifest in the first place, and then Sawyer just kind of all people, just kind of caving into Hurley. Like, yeah, dude, it ain't even worth it. Here you go.
but I do kind of feel like Sawyer was just like, it's this isn't worth my time or
Yeah,
effort.
I don't want to kiss Hurley, so here, just take it. But
It's
also,
just a,
like Hurley's the only one to come up to him like, dude, just give it to me. Like there was no like, it was just Hurley being like, I don't want to do this. You don't have the energy to do this, so come on.
Can you imagine if Sawyer was like, okay, Hurley, I'll give you the list.
Yeah,
You get Kate to kiss me again.
yeah, right.
That's just his like go to for anything. Like I'll do it. Kate's got to kiss me again to do it.
We have Kate standing on the beach, all by herself, staring off into the distance, which I swear she's done multiple times now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is her MO, and right as I was thinking that, Jack walks up and is like, "Oh, this is a surprise. Kate's doing nothing." And I was like, "Bullshit. She does that all the time."
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's probably the MO for a lot of people.
Yeah.
At some point, every character's stood on the beach and stared out. Rose just. I assume Rose is just still sitting on the beach in
Yeah.
the same spot because we haven't seen her in a couple episodes. Rose
Uh,
hasn't really done anything on the show yet. But this is the scene where Kate is the only person to express concern about Saeed being gone.
yeah.
He's like, Saeed's been gone for a week, and Jack's like, Saeed's fine.
I want to bring up since we got an hour to talk about all this crap, more any extra stuff to talk about. It's like when they do the previously on Lost, like and any TV show for that matter, but this one was just done pretty well. The way the editing is, it just cuts out everything unnecessary and just gives you exactly what you need. Like, I want to watch a show like that. Like, no, there's no fluff or filler in the dialogue or like any sort of like pacing whatsoever. Just like there's a story condensed into exactly what you need. Like a 10-minute long episode, because like they're talking about like the French transmission, and it like cuts to Boone like, oh, you know French, and Shannon's like immediately just starts translating it. But like in the episode, that takes like a couple minutes of
Yeah.
like convincing her. So like I just want like a TV show that just it just bam bam bam, like everything just
Straight into
yeah
the point.
straight to the point. Like, or somebody should do that like with a TV show that's already been aired, like
It's
Lost,
just
the previously cut. So like how quickly or like how short could you make the runtime while still getting everything across like that you
it'd be
need?
interesting. Like you like in the beginning of season 2, it's a previously on Lost, and it's like everything that happens in season 2
Yeah.
cut down to like 40 minutes.
Yeah, like one episode. Could you put it in one episode? That's there for all you fan edits out there. Give me
That would-
Lost, the previous cut.
That would be a lot of work.
It would be, because you need to figure out like what can go, what needs to stay. I guess you could just take all the previously. Like you could just take the beginning of episode. They're like, they've already done this, idiots.
Because it's funny you mentioned the previously thing, because that's something people have been talking about recently, is how previously ons have gotten more and more spoilery, because it'll be like previously on this show, remember this character who died 5 seasons ago? We're mentioning him for no particular reason.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, the character's alive. What a shock. Didn't see that coming. Because then, they gotta like, I guess, remind you of things that are gonna be important in the which they really shouldn't do. Either you remember it or you don't.
Well, and the thing is, like,
Previously
you're
should
gonna
just be-
remember it. Like, if they're gonna bring back the character, there's no reason they have to remind you of him. You're gonna remember when it happens.
Previously on should be dedicated to just things that happened in the last episode.
Previously on Lost.
You go too far back, then you start spoiling it. If you like previously on and it shows the polar bear, you're gonna be like, oh, polar bear's gonna be in this episode. That's spoiling, in my opinion. Which isn't a word, spoilering.
It's spoilering. We have an intense scream from Claire. Multiple,
Which I was
actually.
thinking, like, I don't know, two nights of Claire screaming in a row, and I'd be moving out of the caves.
Yeah, right.
He's like, she wakes up with like a blood curdling scream 2 nights in a row. Like, no.
Freaking the Sky Marshal wakes up like, oh, come on, I wasn't this loud.
I'm moving back to the beach. Well, thank you.
Which she gives a really good scream, but then it got to the point where like I was considering turning down my TV because it kept going on, and it was like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, geez, come on, I can turn this down. People are gonna hear this.
You're like the old person, constantly adjusting the volume.
Yeah, that's me, pretty much.
My mom does that, and it annoys me so much because she's constantly adjusting the volume. Like, oh no, that's too loud. Turn it up. Oh no, now they're talking too quiet. I gotta turn it back up now. Like, just leave it in one spot.
Actually, I have like hearing damage that's recent because I've been listening to stuff too loud and haven't realized it.
You have hearing damage from listening to stuff too loud?
Yeah, that's how that happens.
Well, like, what do you listen? I mean, you're not working around jet engines. What are you listening to too loud?
You can happen to anything. It's like, it's because I've been using headphones recently and I haven't used them before, and I've had the volume on like 100%.
What are you like blasting? Like,
Yeah, just like
maybe I'm in the minority, but that seems wild to me. That like you would get hearing damage from headphones.
Well, it's like, yeah, that's literally why it pops up. There's a like on your iPhone, it's like, to avoid damage to hearing, keep your decibels below this.
Well, I'd assume that's just like a liability thing. So
It's
like,
partly liability, but yeah, it can happen. It's well, I've
no.
been doing it for like months and I didn't realize it. I guess I had bad hearing beforehand.
Well, how do you know you had hearing damage? Did like your ears start bleeding or something?
They started ringing out of nowhere.
Ears It's just never a good sign. Like blood coming out of your
Blood coming
ears.
out of anything is never a good sign.
It's true. I guess like mouth is okay. Blood coming out of your mouth.
Still not
You know,
good.
maybe it's well better than any other option. You know.
I feel like coughing in blood, like that's probably pretty bad.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if you had to pick one place for blood to come out of, it would be mouth. Because like maybe it's your gums, maybe it's your teeth, maybe it's your tongue,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
like ears, there's no. Oh no, nose. Nose is what you want.
yeah. I mean, that's just on the regular.
Nose is number one. Nose could be bad. It could be really, you know, it could be like your brains leaking out of your nose or something. It could be bad, but like bleeding out of your ears, that's never good. Bleeding out of your eyes, that's never good. You know, nose is probably what you want. Like,
Yeah, if you're gonna have an orifice bleed, it's gonna be the nose.
you don't want anything down below bleeding either.
No
You know,
penile bleeding.
although some people they bleed every month apparently. I can't imagine that at all. It must be terrible.
Must be awful.
I'm
Um,
glad I'm born a man.
yeah, right. Gotta breathe. Gotta bleed. Hey, I don't go this far into the episode, so I'm not editing this.
Which is like that was my takeaway from health class was like I'm glad I'm a man because they're like describing everything and there's like oh, Jesus Christ I'm glad I wasn't born a woman that
Actually,
all sounds
I was thinking
miserable.
about that in this episode. She's like, oh, I was 6 weeks late, and that never happens. And like, I was like 6 weeks late. What was she talking about? Like 6 weeks late to what? Like, what is she?
You
No,
haven't heard
I'm
that
just
before?
kidding. But like,
Oh, I was
just that,
about to say.
like the idea of just like I don't know what she's 6 weeks late to. I don't want to think about it. Like,
Today on Hazard Time Gets Lost, Dimitri has the talk.
yeah, right. We're gonna postpone this episode and talk about something else that's a little more important. Demetrius like,
I like the it's funny the Hurley and Locke interaction
yeah. What do you
where
think?
Hurley gets like creeped out by Locke, but Locke, if you think about it, Locke really didn't say anything all that creepy.
What's he say again? He's like,
He was like Hurley goes like, well, why were you in Australia?
oh yeah,
Locke goes, I was looking for
looking
something.
for something.
"Well, did you find it? It found me. Which
It
like
found
he's
me,
not being
Chuck.
creepy, he's
Yeah,
just being vague.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Like
Hurley's
if you
like, I don't know. They did give a boon. He's like calling Hurley out. He's like, oh, we're gonna start our own Patriot Act on the island or something.
like Hurley, I don't think Hurley had enough reason to be creeped out by Locke because
I think
Locke
Hurley's
was
just kind of getting residual creeping out from Locke. Like
maybe
whatever Locke does is just creepy at this. Like Locke's even in Claire's dream.
it's true.
Like I didn't get that part. Like she's just watching Locke from a distance, like, ooh, this guy's giving me nightmares.
Locke is the Freddy Krueger of the island.
Well, then he's got his light and dark eyes,
Mm-hmm.
which is a cool little nod. Light and dark. But
Saeed comes back, which is like
yeah, I'm not gonna
perfect
lie.
timing.
I was like, oh, Saeed, I forgot.
This is like perfect timing for Saeed to come back. So he can come back and be like, "We're not alone." And then 2 minutes later, Hurley walks in. Ethan's not one of us. Like, yeah, those things connect.
Yeah, they just kind of throw Saeed back in the middle of the episode.
But I do like that Saeed was gone for most of the episode. Some TV shows have a problem with
Just bringing him back
characters
off
moving.
screen.
Well, yeah, well, not that like characters coming back, like traveling from place to place. Him being gone this episode does help us to like get a feel that Saeed went somewhere far.
Yeah. Well, and he got he got damaged too.
He's like limping. He's like delirious as well.
Nobody says that when they don't. He got injured. Nobody says like damaged though.
Damaged. Damaged feels more permanent.
It just feels non-human. Like your car gets damaged, but your body gets hurt.
Like your like mind gets damaged.
Yeah, all splintered mind.
The loud thoughts.
Yeah, perhaps Claire is having some loud thoughts this episode, so Jack thinks it wise to sedate her, only temporarily until the baby comes.
Yeah.
And
Jack
she doesn't
is-
like that very much.
Jack's not too far off, I guess. Like,
I think it's
thinking-
reasonable. I think him bringing that up would have made sense. Because even the show is wanting us to think it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Um,
You get Shannon's reaction of like, "I'm so not moving to the
yeah,
rape
caves. So yeah, it's been called Sawyer called it Cave Town, I think.
Cave Town."
Kami's doing over there in Cave Town. Now Shannon's called it Rape Cave.
Yeah, caves aren't looking too great. I mean, I guess you got Jack is because having Jack there is important. You need, for the medical help, but
Jack's got to provide some medical assistance like every single episode at this point. Because like this one starts off, and then she needs her hands taped up, and Jack's there, and then he's giving her pills and offering his like this is just he should be charging at this point.
well, and I guess like Jack is your main character, so he's got to have something to do every episode. Like it's okay that Sun had nothing in this episode to do. That's okay, but I guess it's like not okay for Jack.
I don't know if this is like again, I haven't seen the show, but it's always I guess just kind of the idea I got from seeing like ads or just hearsay from it, but like I always thought Charlie and Hurley were closer. Like they were more buddy, but up until this point, they really haven't been.
We still got plenty of show left.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Because I was expecting them to be more of like a comic relief duo, and they really haven't been that.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're only 10 episodes in.
That's fair. Well, if this was a modern show, we'd be seasoned down.
Yeah. Or 2. Nowadays, shows are like 6 episodes long, and they come out every 3 years. Which is just absurd.
We'd be halfway through Lost by now.
I miss. I think 10 episodes of Lost is already more than that Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. They've had like 4 seasons and 9 episodes.
Yeah, that's like notoriously short, and like, but isn't it like everybody loves that show?
Yeah, it's good. It's.
I've seen one episode, and it was just like, I was like, what? Like I don't. Is he the one where he jumps off the roof or something?
You've seen that? That's your one episode?
Yeah, that's the episode I've seen. I was like, this is bonkers. Like, what am I watching this? This for?
That's weird to start with, but okay.
Well, yeah, other people like it, so.
I can imagine. I have some idea of other people's taste in movies and TV shows, and that's not at all surprising.
That's not. I don't think it's as clear cut as you're making it seem, but.
Well, there's connections. People who like Supernatural, a lot of them like Sherlock.
Yeah, but then you're like, these people like Supernatural and Sherlock, and also have a Tumblr account. There's like a separation there.
But that's more of a thing. That's more like when these shows were in their prime, perhaps.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm not expecting a Tumblr. No one does Tumblr anymore. Once they got the porn off Tumblr, no one went on it anymore.
You take the porn away, and the people leave.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we get quite a bit of flashbacks, really, this episode.
I like how we're saying people, but if people ever listen to this, they would know 100% we're talking about them and would call you out on it.
Yeah, but I haven't said anything that's untrue.
Okay.
Those people don't have Tumblr account, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Heard
saying.
you
There's a
talking.
difference between fans of Supernatural that have a Tumblr account and fans of Supernatural that don't know what Tumblr is.
Don't know what Tumblr is
Well, okay,
interesting.
that's a bit of a stretch, but that have probably never been on Tumblr.
It's Batman's car in The Dark Knight.
The Tumblr.
Which I will also, just to like throw it out there, like to not hate. I did use Tumblr like back in the day as well, so it's not like,
Yeah, I mean, I used it. I don't think I ever used it, but I was definitely on it.
oh yeah, actually I did use. I feel like I used Tumblr
I
like
feel like
after
but I feel like people
stopped
that
using it.
use Tumblr are gonna be like happy and proud that they use Tumblr. It was, they probably have a lot of good memories of Tumblr. That's like you calling me out for like Gary, people on Gary's mod or something. Like that has a certain connotation to it. But yeah, I like Gary's mod.
Yeah, I guess it's always like the minority of people make the whole thing look bad. You know, like the small minority of crazy people on Gary's mod makes the whole puts a dark cloud on the whole community in general.
No, that cloud's pretty big. Gary's mod has a pretty dark thunderstorm looking cloud. I think actually I don't know if it's how recent this was or like how true, but I'm pretty sure it's like the first time that Gary had to ban somebody.
Like, okay, listen here.
So, like there was a server or something that were just like straight up Nazis. Like it was a dark, not a dark RP, maybe like a World War II RP server, but they were taking the Nazi thing a little too seriously. And so like Gary went on and like ban these admins.
Which is like, oh my, because that's what people wanted to happen with our server.
Yeah, well, exactly. They wanted Gary to get on and like take care of business, but we weren't Nazis, okay?
Yeah.
We were just shitty admins.
Does he even do like? Is he even like part of Gary's mod anymore? Like,
They're,
does he?
he's they're working on like a Gary's Mod 2 at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be called Gary's mod
No,
too.
but
It's called, yeah. Well, because I assume it'd be for Source 2,
yeah, that's what they're using to make it.
which we haven't really seen what Source 2 can do yet. Like only with
Apparently, it can do a lot.
VR. Yeah, from what I know, it can do a lot, but we just haven't seen. Like we've had one Source 2 game, I think, for just Half-Life Alex, which was VR. So like we don't know what that can do pancake mode.
Pancake mode.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people refer to like flat, non VR gaming as pancake. Maybe they don't. I hope they do. I'm gonna sound like a lunatic. But
Wait, like, so your standard gaming experience, they call that pancake mode.
well, I guess when, not like always, but like when talking about VR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like they would say like it's like if they're talking about a game in VR, it goes about like I wonder if you can play it in pancake mode. Like
Oh, so you can play Half Life Alex in either like a 3-dimensional VR mode or like.
theoretically, yeah. Like that's a thing that's been out for a while. It like loses a lot, like because a lot of like the puzzles and stuff are very specifically like built for VR.
Hmm.
So it just kind of turns Half-Life Alex into like a boring point and shoot.
Right, yeah, more linear. Just it doesn't feel that way, I guess, if you're playing VR.
Because there's like a lot of cool VR things you can do in Half-Life Alex that you like wouldn't. Because like There's like a marker. You can pick up the marker and write stuff on the whiteboard. Which, of
which
course,
seems pretty freaking basic for VR.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
And
Just like
hell, you want
combine
to talk about writing on my? You can do that in Duke Nukem Forever. You do
whatever,
that.
man.
Though,
I feel like
I don't know, it seems kind of satisfying to take a cap off the marker if you can do that. If you can take
I
the
think
cap
you
off
can.
and put it on. That was the thing that blew me away in VR when I had it. Was like, for some reason, the most fun thing to do was like I remember your character's in like its little stationary home, and I was like exploring it, and I like turn, and I look, and I see a mirror. I was like, "Whoa, it's me in
Was,
VR! Oh, look at that!" And so just like dancing in front of this mirror as my character, and like,
so it was like a person. Like it didn't
yeah,
look
it
like
was like
you.
my avatar, who I was playing as,
Interesting.
and then like it would track my movements and my fingers. So it's just like I was like flipping myself off in VR in the mirror, and like that was just tons of fun.
But yeah, I think overall though, like this episode, there's just like a lot that works in
Yeah,
this.
it's a strong episode. It's
Y-
this is in my top 4, so definitely at this point.
you get this strong storyline, and it's like these kind of like ch- these like chill inducing moments. The realizing that like he knew about the plane crash, he put her there on purpose. Like I'd be pissed if
Well,
that was me.
and then like it made me think like, okay, this guy knows about the plane crash. Like, how much does he know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's just blurry, I guess, but like, how much about the island is it? I need to put you on this island. There's gonna be a smoke monster, but it's gonna be okay. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Well, you gotta imagine like
Polar bear.
because he didn't know about the plane crash. Because you would assume that like he didn't know about the plane crash at first. Like when he reads Claire, he gets bad vibes, and we don't understand what those bad vibes are, right? And then
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you would assume at another point he finds out about a plane like, oh, this plane's gonna crash. That would be a good place to hide Claire to make sure she raises this kid on her own. It's not like he saw that Claire was in a plane crash. It's like he orchestrated Claire being on the plane and crashing,
yeah.
which is wild. So
Well,
I think that's an interesting thing. Like
yeah. It's like
it,
how much did he see? Did he see? So he saw the plane crash. His job was to get Claire to get on that plane.
well, it's not like it wasn't like his job. It's not like he wasn't like fulfilling. It's not like he saw the future and he was doing his part to make sure a future happened. He was like influencing events. He saw a plane that crashed. Claire wasn't on that
Oh
plane,
yeah.
and he'd be like, "Okay, I can use this for my advantage. Put Claire on this plane,
He's just like
solve this
Doctor
problem."
Stranging it up in his room. Like,
Yeah,
like what? How many different outcomes can I scan here?
and it also something interesting that it does. It sets up a little bit more about Claire's child. Like there's shit going on here as well now.
Right, in which that was like this child is probably important to the island.
Yeah,
Is what yeah we're getting at.
or
But then
or important in general, because
yeah,
you'd assume at first it had no. Because at first it would have had no connection to the island.
your
Because it's
baby is
almost like
meant to be a famous painter. He will change the world of art.
because like at first she wasn't going to be on the island until he put her on there. So it's like this baby is like the second coming of Christ or something.
For all we know, up to this point.
Or I guess either ends of the spectrum, right? Like this baby could be the second coming of Christ, or it could be the Antichrist.
Well, I think is what he's saying. He's like, hell, it could be the Antichrist if you let somebody else raise it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of responsibility. Like this kid is either going to be Jesus or the devil, and that's all up to you.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I was like, during the scene where she's about to sign the paper and she's like talking to these other people, it's like the mother seems pretty cool and kind of like okay, maybe she's fine. But then like the husband there is just like staring at her and staring back at Claire. It's like, yes, Claire, give us the baby, please. Let us adopt the baby.
Sign over the child.
Yeah. Like, you'll sing this song to the baby, right? Yes, of course. I'll eat. I sing the song to the baby. But yeah, even that's like a good moment because the pen jams. Did the
Like a couple pens, right? It's like fate.
yeah. Yeah. Did the ink just bounce off the paper or did the pen jam? No, but yeah, so it's like that's like a little kind of odd or possibly metaphysical too is what's going on with this, and that's like the whole episode. It just keeps like ramping up.
Yeah. And of course, this does leave us with a solid kind of cliffhanger for next episode now, because Claire and Charlie are potentially in danger, and Saeed's back, and who knows what's going on with Ethan. How much of you wants to like immediately start the next episode when you finish this one?
Not very much.
Not much.
Nah, I'm a one and doneer. I can watch one episode and be satisfied. This ain't Breaking Bad we're talking about, okay?
So it's not that you're not enjoying it, it's more like self-control.
No, that's self control. It's enough happened to fulfilled me for like
Okay.
watching an episode. Because like what we were saying, like Breaking Bad, you could watch a whole episode like not much happened. So then when it finally does, it's like throwing all the like if this episode was all about Hurley trying to find the manifest, and then it throws this last like fortune telling stuff in at the last second.
So it's not like
I'm like, ooh, okay, maybe I will go on this. Like, no, this has already been a good episode. It's been 45 minutes of good TV. I'm okay. I'll wait.
so there's no empty calories almost.
Yeah, exactly. But like Breaking Bad, shit hits the fan in the last 5 minutes, and now I kind of want to see what happens with that.
You weren't full. You didn't fill up on that one episode.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately how TV, Breaking Bad was such a hit that like that's how TV is made now.
And like it's not like I didn't want to watch the next episode. It's like I just felt like I could wait. I was satisfied enough to wait.
It would be interesting if we ever did talk about Twin Peaks, because it's like almost like a reverse of all that, because like nothing will happen, but it will captivate you so much somehow. It'd be like, this guy's just using a broom to sweep the floor. This scene's been going on for 5 minutes, but I love it. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna like Twin Peaks if we watch it.
You'll like Twin Peaks.
I'm not a David Lynch fan.
I don't think you gotta be a David Lynch fan. There's enough of, because R.I.P. David Lynch, but people don't account for Mark Frost's influence in the show enough. Mark Frost is really like the story person behind the show.
Well, David Lynch certainly gets all the credit.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Like, I'm pretty sure like David Lynch himself has given Mark Frost his due credit. Like, this is a 50-50 thing for them. And Mark Frost is just much more the story and mythology of it all. So if that's something that's going to draw you in,
I don't know.
You don't have to worry about David Lynch so much. David Lynch is more like the style and the atmosphere.
The only way to get me to watch a TV show is to make me record a podcast directly after it. So
I feel like we should bring in the clarification that we only just now remembered, or just yesterday remembered. This is actually Dimitri's third TV show he will see in completion. because the first was She-Hulk. Then he's seen all of Spectacular Spider-Man, and now he will see all of Lost,
Yep.
which
What was
Spectacular
She-Hulk?
Spider-Man.
Was She-Hulk just one season?
Yeah,
There's like 10 episodes.
8 maybe.
That doesn't even count, honestly.
It
Like,
it
I
really
feel like to be like, oh, I've seen that TV show in its entirety. It's got to have more than one season.
Well, I feel like you definitely can't brag about it. I mean, like
Yeah.
I've seen all of She-Hulk. That's not braggable. I mean, and not even because of the quality of it, but like I've seen 10 30-minute episodes. I'm proud of that accomplishment. Like, no, you saw 3 movies. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, yeah, I guess that is. I mean, it's becoming more of or less of an undertaking to watch episodes or watch TV shows in completion because they're not like as long as they used to be. I feel like Oz is super long.
Yes, so something like that.
Like I just get the vibe that's got like 400 episodes or something.
I would assume Sopranos is long as well. X-Files is a lot. Like Supernatural is a lot as well.
Oh yeah,
Lost is
Supernatural is ridiculous.
Lost is a pretty medium-sized show in my opinion. 120-ish episodes. That's not bad at all. Really. 6
Yeah.
seasons is a good amount of seasons.
Well, yeah. Then I mean, I think that's like the right. You could even go a little less, but I think that's the right amount to get the benefit of being a television show
Yeah.
without overstaying its welcome. Which was like I was saying, I think you could go a little short. Like 3 or 4 seasons is probably like the perfect length for a TV show.
Yeah. Cobra Kai had what? 50, 65 episodes of Cobra Kai?
I mean, and that's the thing. Like Walking Dead, like I've seen the first few seasons of Walking Dead a couple times over. Actually, I love
Yeah.
those first few seasons. Some of my favorite, like movies or TV. I mean, that's up there my favorite. But and then it just kind of ruins it.
When did Walking Dead lose you?
As soon as I got to the prison.
Oh, really?
Well, no, not as soon as like I don't know, like probably the halfway through that season.
No,
I just
I made
lost interest.
yeah. So you're not gonna see Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol?
Book of
You're not gonna
Carol?
see that new season?
The huntsman from the book of the Equation of Doom.
Okay, we gotta do that now.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about today. I was like, that begs to be made. The huntsman
It's gotta be
from the book of the Equation. From the book of Equation of Doom, I guess.
or do we just retitle everything? Now it's like Eighth Rule from the Book of Equation of Doom.
From the book of Hazard Time.
No, I like the Book of
Yeah,
Equation of Doom.
Book of Equation of Doom. But yeah, from the book of Equation of Doom. Yeah.
I'm tempted to retitle everything we've
We're
done.
not retitling everything.
And you might wake up one day and see everything retitled.
It's just so ridiculous.
Creeping hair from the Book of Equation of Doom.
I was
Scooter
thinking
Boy.
about it actually. How, like the first episode opens up with a Hammerhand just brutally murdering a child. Cause like he's billed as boy, so it's just like a guy hits a kid with a hammer.
Well, how old was Joe at the time?
Well, exactly. Yeah, I guess Joe was like 13.
I mean, I don't think any of us, we weren't like legal age yet either.
I was just thinking of that. I was like, we just started off just beating up a kid. Which, of course, if kids are making something, that's what it's gonna be. But if this was like a movie, that ain't happening.
Just unlike like you said, like Terrifier, I guess. Have you seen any of those Terrifier movies?
No, I've heard they've got a couple scenes that are out there.
They're too. I don't know. Like
It's gratuitous gore. I don't really
well,
care
it's
for
not
it.
even that. It seemed like a little too low budget.
But I think it is low budget. I think that's part of the charm. It's an
Eh.
indie movie, I think.
Well, it's like filming. Like they didn't film on digital. They filmed on like I don't know. It looks like soap opera.
There's no way they probably filmed on digital. That's cheaper.
Well, I don't know. It looks like a soap opera.
So
Like
that
it's
means they probably filmed on like they just probably filmed on like a cheap digital camera and
I
then
guess so
didn't do much post processing to it.
because it's like saturation is off or
Which
something.
again could be by choice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just visually it looked.
Nobody film it. Everything's digital since like probably like 2008 probably 8 everything just turned digital. It's cheaper.
Visually it looked cheap. You know, you can make a movie for cheap and it not look cheap.
Yeah, but again, I think that was by choice. They were
I guess
going
I
for
suppose
that.
so.
Anything else for the episode that we want to talk about? Well, I think we've both established that it was really good. We liked it. Going into it, I
Yeah,
didn't expect for it to be that good, but
yeah. You definitely looking forward to next episode, seeing
yeah,
where
because
this.
now we're officially like it's kind of stringing itself along. Like we've got an overarching plot that includes new material. Like we're not getting our story from flashbacks anymore, really. I mean, we are, but now we've got an actual story from the island.
Yeah, and this is definitely like again. This is like a new phase. Like we're entering into Act Two almost at this point, right now. Like maybe like Solitary was the introduction for Act Two, and now things are ramping up. You know, you gotta assume the next episode's gonna be big. You know, or
Yeah, so
maybe
like
it's not
this,
big. Maybe they're just like, oh well, Claire and Charlie are gone. I guess we'll go.
yeah,
I guess we'll go do whatever.
yeah. That's like this. Now I'm officially in the range of being in, like excited to watch the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's good place to kind of stop talking about.
But we do want to rank these real quick.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5, 8.7.
8.7. Uh, yeah, you know, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go a solid 8.8.
8.8. Okay. All right.
Uh, so 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 far, this is your highest rated episode.
Yes, but is it my favorite episode? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. There are moments in other episodes that I like better, but overall, this episode is my favorite. But it doesn't have like my favorite, you know, maybe like little bits to it.
Yeah. So I'm keeping track of all the ratings, and what I'm gonna do at the end, I almost think that like after we're done with season one, we have a podcast dedicated to just talking about season one.
Yeah, I assumed we would like mm, we would kind of have like just a directly afterwards it would be,
Yeah.
and then
It's like I think
what my thoughts are going forward, thinking what's going to happen. So
yeah, and like because when I'm keeping track of these ratings, I'm also gonna keep track of like writers as well to see if maybe there's a trend there. Like, you know,
that'd be
the
interesting.
episode's written by this person, were generally well received by us or something.
Or we can go back at the end and see, yeah, who our favorite writer was, or who the best
Yeah.
writer was. Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else specifically I wanted to talk about, but
Mhm. No, nothing specific. I just threw in Claire's friend. I like she was just like teenage girl. Like
yeah,
that's
I'm gonna assume Hawaii native because that like of course every all the background people are gonna be locals,
yeah.
like all the like Scott and Steve. We got Scott and Steve mentioned as
Oh yeah.
well.
We don't even know who Scott and Steve are.
No one knows who Scott and Steve are. Scott and Steve don't know who they are. They probably get themselves
He's
confused.
laying awake at night, like I don't want to tell anybody, but I don't remember which one I am. Who am I really?
I bet it's like they go to sleep and they got like, I'm Steve, I'm Steve, I'm
It's
Steve,
Steve.
I'm Steve. Don't get it confused. I'm Steve, I'm Steve, I'm Steve.
uh,
Did you ever see? Did you ever see Pitch Perfect?
no, I didn't.
It's not. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Uh, but there's just a funny bit that reminds me of the whole Scott and Steve thing because there's like two background characters like Jessica and Ashley, and at one point they're like confessing stuff and they go like Jessica and Ashley, I don't really know who's who, and they both go I'm Jessica and then like look at each other confused.
Yeah, it's a classic trope.
Thought that was funny.
All right, so that was yeah.
Yeah. I don't see. I'm impressed with this episode. I feel like we didn't go too off the rails.
I don't know. It's 57 minutes long, so we went we went far enough.
I wonder if that could be our rating system, going back and seeing like what percentage we actually talked about the episode.
Well, I assume as we keep going forward, and each episode has more substance to it in terms of
Yeah.
like
Mm,
kind of referencing previous like we're still not in the midst of it yet, so
yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of callbacks or to previous stuff.
but yeah, so that was it.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time.